We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We've also been getting strange reports of something moving.
It's alive! A gigantic beast!
I mean, it must be 300 feet tall.
Oh god, it's gargantuan! Yes!
Welcome, beautiful creatures of the internet. This is your host, Chris.
I am an alien species that resembles humanity entirely in its perfection, but for some reason it will never be explained until I'm attacked by something and it reveals my true form.
So, literally every single science fiction film from the 50s ever that could afford a monster budget.
Yeah, I just wear like stupid silver-looking jumpsuits all the time.
Do you have, like, glasses that could fit Devo?
I have glasses that only fit the most ridiculous 80s synth rock bands.
Alright, so welcome to episode 7, guys. Last episode came out really well, and hopefully we can continue that. So let's go for this week's Kai news. First on the docket, we got a new Godzilla King of the Monsters poster.
Okay, like, I love it and all, but it's hard to say that's new, because that's been, like, the image of Godzilla shooting his atomic breath straight up. That's been, like, the image for King of the Monsters.
But it's a cool image, you gotta admit that.
Yeah, I get that, and it's cool and all, but I'm like, it's hard to call that new.
I mean, it's Kai news. You gotta talk about at least something new for King of the Monsters. It's a fantastic looking poster. I would like that framed up on my wall. Next bit of Kai news, we got new Ultraman series announced. Ultraman Taiga.
It's a really cool looking helmet.
Yeah, apparently this Ultraman is the son of a previous Ultraman, Ultraman Taro.
That explains the horns.
Yeah, get it? Toro.
Yeah.
And apparently this Ultraman's gimmick, he has two other forms. So the middle one is his default form, and I'm guessing
the one on the left is just absolute unit mode.
Oh yeah, that's Ultraman Titus.
Ultraman buff as fuck.
Swole man.
He's swole man.
And we got Ultraman Fuma, the blue one, on the right here. And
which kind of just looks like a default Ultraman, but blue instead of red.
Usually, I'm guessing this is like a speed mode or like some like agile mode. And Titus is going to be the strength mode.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Ultra series this year. Hopefully, it'll be on a service that I can actually watch it, because Crunchyroll has been stopped doing Ultraman series lately. Kind of sucks. So they missed Ultraman RB or Red Blue. I don't know the official title yet. But yeah, I hope I might, if I have the chance, I'll definitely see this. If not, I'll just find some other Ultra series to watch.
Yeah.
And last bit of Kai news on the docket, not much, but this is really, I'm super fucking pumped for this.
What's up?
So, SRS Cinema, they do a lot of like schlocky releases, which I'm starting to like follow those like DVD distributions, like stuff like Vinegar Syndrome Arrow, they do fantastic stuff. And
Vinegar Syndrome Arrow, is that what you said?
Okay, sorry, I was talking too fast. So, I'm a big fan of DVD distributions that give out the schlockiest, like, unknown stuff.
Like Trauma and
like
such.
Trauma. Like, there is Vinegar Syndrome. We watched a film, like, 2 weeks ago called The Suckling.
Oh, Jesus.
We're not gonna, for your sanity's sake, just look it up. We're not gonna describe it here.
It's a wild ride.
It is. And we got Arrow. They do a lot of, like, 80s cult films. And they're always done in fantastic quality. So, SRS is another one of these. They're gonna be releasing 2 independent kaiju films. Like, they're not by Toho or Daiei. These are completely independent.
It's called Vinegar Syndrome Arrow?
Vinegar Syndrome is one company, and Arrow is another one.
Oh.
I was trying to list examples of other ones. I said it too fast, so I must have confused you.
Vinegar Syndrome, that is a very strange... It sounds like a really weird disease.
It kind of does.
Just like, I'm sorry, sir, we diagnosed you with Vinegar Syndrome. You're going to be shooting vinegar out from your fingernails for the next 2 weeks.
Considering not only they do like schlocky B movies, but they also do like sexploitation films, I think the name is kind of fitting. But anyway, this is the company we're talking about is SRS Cinema. SRS Cinema.
Okay.
And they're releasing 2 independent kaiju films. One is Reigo, the Deep Sea Monster versus the Battleship Yamato. And its sequel, or spiritual sequel, the Deep Sea Monster Raiga.
I love the first title.
Oh, because it's long Japanese, over-dramatized
no,
title.
No, because it actually states that, like, in the title that it's fighting some kind of, like, warship. And, like, legit, like, from judging from other kaiju films, the military success rate of human weapons versus kaiju is not very fair.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that sounded like, heavyweight champ Mike Tyson versus 8-year-old girl.
I mean, from what I heard about Raigo, it's basically like a alternate history period piece, because there is a famous warship called the Yamato, and it sank...
Is it anything like the Hive Fleet Behemoth?
I don't know about that, but yeah, the Yamato is a famous warship in World War II, and what happened was it was sank by American soldiers, I believe, but in this film, it's like, oh no, it was a giant monster the whole time.
Because fuck America, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, and it's... hold on, I got some notes here about the film. They're completely independent, and they're directed by Shinpei Hayashiya, who is best known for directing a fan sequel to the Gamera trilogy, Gamera 4 Hope, which has never seen the light of day, and it's like
probably for legal reasons.
Probably, but fan films are uploaded all the time on YouTube.
Yeah, and then they're immediately taken down because people are dicks.
Unless people get mad and they're reinstated. Unless you're Nintendo, in which dig your feet in the ground, because, why not hire instead of hiring someone who made something so talented that, they could be a valuable employee. No, just give a cease and desist letter.
Did you hear about Can I go off the rails for 2 minutes?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, you mentioned Nintendo, and there's some drama going on right now because of Joker in Smash Ultimate.
I didn't know about any drama.
So apparently, not only is Joker a character, there's a Persona 5 stage that you could fight on, and it plays music from Persona 5.
Okay.
And one of the songs, to my knowledge, uses a musical term. Retardando, which means to have a slow pace.
And I'm guessing the internet's taking it a little bit in the wrong direction.
A really, really, really stupid article from Kotaku came out saying Smash Ultimate is ableist and it uses the R word.
I mean...
It's no, it's using a classical music term, and you just don't know the difference.
I mean...
And here, you want to know the big thing?
Yeah.
Kotaku is so shitty and so desperate for views, they release an apology stating that, we're not certain that's what it says, but the original article stayed up. At the time of this recording, this is being recorded on 4/20/2019. As of right now, the article is still up. And it doesn't say, we think it uses the word. No, it bold ass says it uses the word, and then their apology article doesn't really apologize and kind of just says, we're not certain it uses the word.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, 2 independent kaiju films. Sorry for that tangent, guys.
It's just been on my mind. I'm sorry.
All right. So they're going to... Raigo will be released sometime November, December this year. And Raiga will release sometime in 2020. I'm guessing they're being released because, King of the Monsters and Kaiju hype. And I'm guessing some, lower DVD distributions want to at least get something released to, get the hype going. So that's it for this week's Kai News. Decent amount of stuff revealed.
Yeah.
And now for this week's Is This a Kaiju?
Everyone's favorite segment, especially mine.
All right, Cole, this is going to tickle your fancy.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
The Tarrasque from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, without a doubt. Yes, it's a kaiju.
You want to explain to the audience who has a life and hasn't played Dungeons and Dragons?
For those of you who haven't flipped your thumbs through a D&D monster manual, you probably don't know there is a being known as the Tarrasque. Now, the Tarrasque is a reference to a monster from, I don't know exactly where.
I think French mythology.
It's some form of mythology, but don't confuse it with that. The Tarrasque in D&D is a lot different. It is one of the biggest, baddest monsters you can ever... this thing is so big, so powerful, and so just loaded up to the brim with brute force. This thing hunts and eats dragons.
Yeah.
And in D&D, dragons aren't just flying around fire-breathing lizards. No, dragons, if they're old enough, they can be intelligent, they can speak multiple languages, they can learn to be wizards and cast spells. Yeah, dragons are no joke in D&D. And the Tarrasque isn't intelligent. It's like an animal. It's a beast.
It's a monster.
But it is so just pure brute force power. It's able to overwhelm dragons and eat them.
It is an endgame monster if the DM either wants to end it in an epic way possible, or he's really, really pissed off at the party.
Basically, this is like an unkillable monster. It regens like 40 HP every single turn. That's during like players' turns. It's constantly self-healing. It can heal by eating. One of its moves is just swallow something whole.
And it's an insta-kill attack.
No, you can like try and fight around.
Oh, really? I thought it was an insta-kill.
Last time I looked at a book, I think you can make a save.
Okay.
But it's ridiculous. It is an endgame monster. You all gotta be like level 20s or above to handle this thing. 100%. I say the Tarrasque is a kaiju.
All right, and I agree with you. And it's funny that D&D or Pathfinder, which is basically D&D 3.5, has kaijus themselves.
Yeah, I own a couple monster manuals, and there is like a section of like kaijus that are blatant just parodies of like Toho kaijus. There's this one spiky lizard thing, and it's totally just a Godzilla parody.
Though you get rid of it by singing, which is kind of like a parody of Gamera.
Yeah, genuinely, if we weren't recording right now, I'd go over to my bookshelf and go grab it, but we don't really have the time to fart around and do that.
Yeah.
Maybe another time. If Chris gave me any form of warning, I would have come prepared with my D&D books, and I could have read like a little excerpt from them. Maybe another time.
Yeah.
Some other time. That'll be a fun read.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a super gigantic extra nerdy edition of Gargantucast.
You mean more nerdier than usual?
Yes. Like, please.
I mean, last week we delve into the Marvel Universe.
True. So comic books and Godzilla. We are like, can we get like thrones as kings of nerds?
I mean, like, we gotta at least earn or keep something else. Like, I don't know, like, if we make a fucking, like, Kevin Smith style film, then we can become, like...
We're the first podcast to ever promote some random kaiju before the film comes out.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I'm going to say the Tarrasque...
We make our own independent kaiju film.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to say the Tarrasque is a kaiju as well. You guys can debate about that on Twitter and social media. And we're going to take a little break, and afterwards we're going to talk about this month's Patreon voted episode with Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. So we'll be right back.
Hold on to your butts.
Hey guys, quick commercial break, and I just want to tell you guys about the official Gargantucast Patreon page. For as little as $1 a month, you can show your support and get reward along the way, such as artwork by the official Gargantucast artist, Kaijuzilla98, votes for the next episode topic, and even merch. Yes, we even have merch, like any good podcast should. And any show support is much appreciated, because Gargantucast is independent, which means I gotta pay for everything. From my equipment, to programs, to research materials such as movies, figures, and books, because we all know the kaiju life is very expensive. So, once this episode is over, please check out the official Gargantucast Patreon page in the link down below if you're on YouTube, or you can look it up on Patreon if you're listening to wherever you listen to your podcasts. And we're back.
Holy shit. Okay. It had been a long... I have seen Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster before rewatching it to do this episode. And genuinely, Chris told me something before we put the DVD in. Mm-hmm. And I never realized how accurate it was. For the build-up and the delivery of this film, Chris compared it to the first Avengers film. Because at the time, there really weren't... Like, a lot of people, like, in the kaiju genre that are, like, kind of like beginner fans, like, they've watched a couple movies.
They're well aware of the monster brawls and the monster mash films.
Yeah, where you just get a bunch of kaijus together and they fight. But this was kind of like the first time that happened. Because other previous kaiju fights, it's usually just one-on-one, like Godzilla versus Anguirus.
Honestly, when it comes to Godzilla fights, they were one-on-one, because you got Godzilla's first opponent in Godzilla Raids Again, which was Anguirus. Then was Godzilla vs. Kong, which was a crossover in itself, but it's like comparable to like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. It was just two franchises bashing each other, and they did it again with Mothra vs. Godzilla. And speaking of Mothra vs. Godzilla, guess how long Ghidorah came out right after Mothra vs. Godzilla? 9 months.
Not even a full year after
Yeah,
Godzilla
9 months. So both films came out in 1964. I thought it was 65 for some reason, but that was Invasion Astro Monster, because I was just shocked that it was the 9 months between production. But this film is basically equivalent to Avengers, because
it's this huge crossover, because not only does it have... and honestly, it's named after...
Yeah.
It's named after Ghidorah, the main villain.
In the U.S. version, in the Japanese version, the film was called Three Giant Monsters, Earth's Greatest Battle.
Okay, I didn't know that. The combination of the monsters in this film, it was an enormous deal at the time to have that many kaiju in one. It's like, not only is it introduction of a new monster,
Ghidorah,
but it has Godzilla, it has Rodan, it has Mothra, and like at this point, it kind of was like the Avengers. All those kaijus had their own solo films beforehand.
This is Godzilla's 5th film, Mothra's 3rd film, and his Rodan's 2nd film, as well as Ghidorah's 1st film.
So yeah, it's like, boom, here's this new villain, and here's all these already established monsters to go fight him.
And this was like an Avengers film, like this film, like, even though like Cole was saying that this film, like in America, is just advertised as the villain, in Japan it's called Three Giant Monsters, Earth's Greatest Battle, and kind of like marketed as an Avengers style film, or at least a big event crossover. Because even in the film's style, so the film's plot starts with a bunch of scientists are looking at a meteor for a meteor shower, and Ghidorah in a meteor form lands, and it's like causing strange phenomenon. So a bunch of scientists investigate.
Like the meteorite is magnetic.
Yeah, and as during this time, this is kind of like the most irrelevant plot, but it's like relevant for like a few scenes. There's like this princess of some country, which Brandon Tanold has a recurrent joke. He calls it Fakistan.
Oh God, what was the name of the country? I completely looked it up.
I forgot.
It has this. Please, I'm gonna fill time while you look it up, please.
Yeah,
because you have your phone. Genuinely, it's the name of this country. It's so ridiculous sounding. It has such a weird name, and the characters, they're wearing like these ridiculous like Elizabethan ruffle collars. They got like these huge like Shakespearean outfits, but like
they're obviously Japanese.
They're all Japanese men wearing like Matrix sunglasses.
Well,
like,
no, that was the assassin.
Okay, fine, but still, no, didn't the leader have sunglasses on too?
No, it was just the assassin. The head assassin had sunglasses.
Okay, but still, they're wearing these stupid fucking outfits.
Yeah,
and it looks hilarious. It is impossible to look at these scenes and take it seriously.
Yeah.
It is 100... Like, I challenge you to watch these scenes and not laugh.
Yeah, so, okay, the country is called Seljina, Fakistan. So, we get this plot of this princess, and apparently, like, some other, like, faction wants her assassinated so they can take the throne, as you do. And this film is basically Godzilla and James Bond.
Yeah, like, there's, like, espionage and the assassins, and, like, the princess is, like... She's like mind controlled by aliens to try and like warn the people of Earth that Ghidorah is coming.
We got one of the main male characters, like this. He's not a spy, but he's like this suave dude trying to protect her. And we got like, honestly, one thing I'm surprised is just the main photographer girl. She's very proactive in this story. At this point, most kaiju heroines are just, you know, stationary characters, but you know, this and Mothra vs. Godzilla, we got a very proactive character.
Similar to how we talked about the human characters in the first Gamera film, I'd say the human characters in this one, like, I don't feel this film drags at all.
Yeah, I know some people feel like it drags. I think the thing is, it's not that it drags. The big problem with the human characters, it's kind of just a little disjointed from the whole kaiju action.
Yeah, it's not until, like, the final battle does it really start coming together.
Yeah.
Where, like, oh, the kaijus are fighting, and, like, oh, Godzilla, like, kicks a rock, and then, like, oh, nearby the humans are doing their shit, and, like, an avalanche starts because of what Godzilla's doing.
Yeah.
Which, holy shit, they are that close to that kaiju fight. How are they alive?
I mean, it could be just the way it was filmed, but anyway.
It's very strange. So, but genuinely, I'd say the human characters are at least interesting. Like, they're not just kind of, like, there.
Yeah, they at least are doing something throughout the film. There is a plot throughout the film. But one thing about the princess, she's like a little irrelevant because she gets possessed by, in the Japanese version, they're from Venetian aliens, while in America they changed it to Mars because Mars is more generic and America likes generic. Basically, these aliens, they dealt with Ghidorah, and they're trying to warn it, but throughout the film, when the princess is possessed, she's a little more vague about it, though from what I heard, the reason why it seems like last minute that she warns everyone about Ghidorah was a bit of an editing weirdness with the American version, because we watched the American version, and that's why it felt like she warned Ghidorah at the last minute, so it's like, she warns Ghidorah, then immediately Ghidorah. So it could flow that, while in the original film, she warns Ghidorah, and it takes a little bit till Ghidorah to appear.
I will say one thing that is kind of funny about this is that we only see the princess non-mind controlled by the aliens for like 2 minutes.
In the beginning of the film and the end of the film.
But like, so the entire rest of the film, she is completely under the aliens' control.
Yeah.
But like, she wears all these ridiculous outfits.
I mean,
she wears like stylized military clothes. She wears like these like fashionable sweaters, and it's just like, you know, the aliens had to dress her. She's under mind control, so therefore the aliens are picking out these outfits, and it's just like, what do you think will go well to the appeal to the people of Japan? Let's have her wear this poofy hat that looks like it belongs on a character in a Pokemon game.
To be fair, she just came from an explosion on the plane, which came out of nowhere. I'm guessing it was a bomb from the assassin.
The princess jumps out of a plane, and then the plane just explodes for no reason.
I had to look it up. Apparently, I guess it was a bomb that the assassins left.
Please, like, do some research.
I did.
Oh, the assassins blew up the plane?
Yeah, they left the bomb, and the aliens were warning her.
And she just hopped out beforehand.
Pretty much.
Okay.
How the fuck did she survive that with no parachute?
The alien magic.
Alien magic, sure. Also, this is this first film that introduces aliens in the Godzilla franchise besides Ghidorah himself.
Really?
Yeah, there was no aliens. Another characters that were surprisingly really entertaining in this. The Mothra twins were actually very proactive in this film. They were helping out the princess from the assassins. They were the ones that were like the most the most famous scene when they're like translating the monsters, which is funny. We'll get to that later.
Okay,
but I just want to talk about the princesses.
I wasn't going to get into
the princesses, the Mothra twins. And last film and the film before, they were victims. Because they're always kidnapped by some asshole who wants to sell them or like station. But no, the Mothra twins, they're proactive. They're like helping out people, and it's like good.
They prevent an assassination.
They did, yeah. And like it kind of sucks. Their last appearance in the Showa era was Ebera, which is because like I kind of wish there were more recurring characters whenever Mothra appears. I
mean, they're kind of like just absolutely linked to the character.
Yeah, but Mothra's like final appearance in the Showa era was Destroy All Monsters. And they never appeared.
That's lame.
Yeah. But anyway, the human characters is really good. And during this time, the meteorite was getting bigger. It's, like, causing weird effects. And then, like, I'm going to say, like, at the end of the first act, the princess is born outside a volcano, which is, like, volcano equals kaiju.
Equals Rodan.
Rodan. So Rodan awakens. And, to be honest, I'm not a fan of this suit design, the 65 suit.
For Rodan?
Yeah, I always prefer the 56 suit. Which is like, it's menacing, but it's still like classic Showa era style.
He does look a little silly.
They intentionally did try to make him silly, because one thing Ishiro Honda wanted to do was make these characters more lively, more personality. That's why
I would definitely say they succeeded that for Godzilla in this film. Like, I really feel like a sense of Godzilla having a character.
He's not
instead of just being a monster. Like
he's not a force of nature in this film. He's just like, at the start of the film, he's after Rodan, I'm guessing just out of territory.
He's a big fella.
He's just like, they're just fighting for territory and stuff like that. And Godzilla's pretty cool, even though he sparsely uses the atomic breath in this film. Which is
are you shitting me? He blasts Rodan in the face like 7 times with it.
But he doesn't do it in the final battle, which could have been...
Yeah, I don't... Correct us if we're wrong, but I don't think he uses the atomic breath on Ghidorah at all.
He does not at all. That's kind of infamous about this film. It's just he never uses it in the final battle.
But
he throws rocks.
Rodan tanks like 7 or 8 blasts of the atomic breath.
Yeah. And
I mean, I can give Rodan some shit sometimes, but you know what? He's a resilient bastard.
I mean, Rodan's one of my favorite kaijus of all time, and this is the film. Like, as much as I'm not a huge fan of this suit, I will say I like his personality a lot. Yeah. And Mothra is in her larval form in this film, and there's only one, because in the previous film there was 2. And apparently they said, like, oh, the other one died, which is weird, because whenever Toho introduces 2 kaijus, in the next film they appear as always 1, because Rodan had 2 Rodans, and this one now is just back to 1. It's like, Toho can't count to 2.
The death curse.
But one thing I liked about Mothra is we basically got like D&D rules. Godzilla is the brute. Rodan's support is like, DPS and, range and, all over the place. And Mothra is support.
Yeah.
And one thing I liked about this film is, like, the fact they have personalities.
And true to life, if a support character tries to fight the boss, they get fucking curb stomped.
Yeah.
Because one of the first confrontations with Ghidorah in this film is Mothra larval form tries to solo Ghidorah. And that goes about as well, goes just about as well as you think it might.
Speaking of Ghidorah, let's talk about Ghidorah himself.
Okay, before we get into it, can we talk about, for 1964, how amazing the effect of Ghidorah's first appearance looks?
I mean, E.G. Tsuburaya, man. Like, he's called the god of special effects for nothing.
He's not called it for something. Whatever. You know what we meant.
Yeah.
But, like, goddamn, that effect of, like, the fire bursting out and it's all animated, it takes the form, and then just explosion Ghidorah!
It's such a cool effect that they reused it, like, several times whenever Ghidorah appears in this film, in the series.
It looks fantastic for the 60s.
And the rampage scene with him flying over is genuinely intimidating.
Oh, and just all the buildings crumbling under the wings.
Yeah, Ghidorah is pretty cool. It took like a dozen people to operate that, including the guy in the suit who's like in his barbell. And whenever he's walking, he's like holding his bar and he's like basically using his legs throughout and the rest of it is like string work because there's several people puppeteering the heads, the wings, and the tails. They have 7 limbs to operate.
Three tails,
2
three
tails.
heads.
2 tails, 3 heads, and 2 wings.
Yeah.
And what's funny, fun fact about Ghidorah, for those who don't know, originally they planned him to be purple with rainbow wings, but apparently decided to settle on gold just to have a more unified color.
I mean, yeah, that'd be a little eye-straining.
And another thing is, Ghidorah is actually based off a Japanese creature.
Orochi,
yeah, as well as the height.
He's missing 5 heads, but whatever.
I mean, can you imagine?
The nightmare of having an 8-headed monster?
Funny that in 1990 something, I think 92, during the Heisei era, we did get Orochi, the eight-headed dragon, tokusatsu film, which
that was like nearly 30 years.
So
later.
they perfected the craft.
Yeah. When the technology was a little better.
Yeah, but it was still a nightmare to operate that suit because
I'm sure.
Especially like there was actual flamethrowers in the Orochi suit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a fantastic special effect. Easily one of E.G. Tsuburaya's like best monsters.
Ghidorah's going ape shit in most of this film. Like his heads are all looking in different directions. And he's going all over the place.
Which I like a lot because it gives each head like it's independent. It's doing its own thing, and it gives again like one thing I liked about this film. The kaijus have personalities. Mm-hmm. They one thing I like, they even added like animatronic eyes for Godzilla for him to look around, not just for him like like
man, he just kind of like stares forward.
Yeah, have like this mile wide stare. But yeah, this film is fantastic. One thing I like about this film as well is the brawl. Like even though it took a bit of a build up, it lasts for like a good 25 minutes.
It's a real good kaiju fight.
And this basically sets up one thing that's important about this film. This basically makes Godzilla the hero of the franchise going forth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because in the film...
a reluctant hero, but still the hero.
Yeah, basically, so let's talk about the most famous scene in this film, the translation scene.
Oh, okay. Before we get into that, I kind of want to preface it. I feel there's a lot of scenes in this one that carried on to become great, hilarious, recurring memes in the kaiju community.
Yeah.
Like, as James Rolfe infamously called it, there's the dick drop.
Oh yeah, where Rodan was before they fight Ghidorah, Rodan and Godzilla were having a decent brawl, and Rodan was picking up and dropped them on power lines,
and it just like right between Godzilla's legs, he's just dropped on a power line, just boom, he gets a power line straight to the dick.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Godzilla taking shots at the dick, there's a scene where he's fighting Ghidorah, and Ghidorah just blasts a bolt of lightning directly to Godzilla's crotch.
Yeah, like
and Godzilla reacts to it. He's like, because first the bolt like hits him in the chest,
yeah,
and then it goes down into his crotch, and his arm, he grabs his crotch, and he's like, oh god.
This is how this review is going to go. This might be a short review because the film's very simple. It's basically Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan.
I love how we could say it's so simple, but it has one of the most off-the-wall, all-over-the-place plots with the humans.
Yeah, like, definitely. I mean, like, it's basically, we got spies, we got scientists,
we got princesses,
aliens.
The Shobijin.
The Shobijin. It's all over the map. And I can see that being a turnoff for some people, though.
But you know what? It's the kind of shit that I love in kaiju movies. It's ridiculous. It's bonkers. It's just a wild ride having shitloads of fun, and that's what the thing is. I love it. It's fantastic. Let's get into the translation scene. So, I want to talk about that.
So basically, Mothra is aware of Ghidorah's presence, and she feels like because Ghidorah is such a big deal, that Mothra feels like she needs the help of Godzilla and Rodan, which I guess they're the only kaijus available at the time, because I guess everyone else is asleep or dead.
Yo.
Like, where's King Kong? Where's Baragon? Where's Anguirus? Where'd they go?
Yeah, where is Anguirus? Is he supposed to be dead right now?
Apparently he did die in Godzilla Raids Again, and the one we see later in the Showa films, it's just a second Anguirus.
Jesus.
But yeah, so she
fucked.
So she asked for Godzilla and Rodan's help, and the humans asked the Shobijin to translate, which I guess Kaiju
Yeah,
is
they're kind of just screeching and roaring at each other.
even though I guess it's a universal language.
It just
It doesn't matter how you screech and roar, you just speak kaiju.
and like
You're right there.
yeah, no, I'm just like I'm just getting ready for the reveal because genuinely like it's so great because they're just like Godzilla says he's not going to help. Oh,
Like-
Godzilla, what foul language!
Like, basically, the Godzilla and Rodan don't want to help because it honestly kind of fits Ishiro Honda's view that these monsters are kind of victims of humanity's hubris.
It's just like, oh, I don't want to help the humans. They fuck shit up, and I don't like them.
And they attack me even though they fucking dropped a nuke on me.
It's like they're the ones who fucking caused this bullshit. I'm just, and then they have the audacity to fight back. Fuck those guys.
And I love the main human guy was like, oh, these monsters are as dumb as we are. And it's kind of, I know it's a funny...
If Gargantucast ever needed a fucking tagline, Gargantucast, monsters as dumb as we are.
But what's funny is, like, you say that line, it's definitely really funny with the delivery, especially in the dub. But the one thing is just, like, it's kind of like, we're not so different.
Yeah.
Which is, again...
It's really establishing the whole kaijus as being intellectuals, or being people, I should say.
Yeah, and it fits with Shiro Honda, because when the monsters eventually team up, because Mothra fights Ghidorah by herself and gets her ass destroyed.
She gets obliterated, because, like, fucking...
She's in her larval form, first
I
off.
give Mothra a lot of shit, but then again, like, most of the coolest Mothra stuff is in her solo films, which I have never seen. I will admit I have never seen the solo Mothra films. My experience with Mothra is only whenever she appears in Godzilla films. And also, Chris can attest to this, I super, just from like word of mouth and what I've heard, I really want to give the Mothra Leo trilogy a try.
They're definitely on the docket. They're definitely on the docket, Cole.
I want to get into them so bad.
I mean, you bought me the Blu-ray for Christmas.
I did.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to get into that, but, like, going back to the whole, like, Mothra in her larva form, like, all she can do is, like, shoot, like, a web-like fluid and, like, cover people.
Though it's very effective when she finally gets help, because that shit is indestructible adamantium.
Like, yeah, it sprays on, and, like, kaiju struggle to get out of this shit like common thugs struggle to get out of Spider-Man's web.
Like, what the fuck is it made of? Because, like, I guess...
Vibranium thread.
I mean, she is a goddess.
Sure, why not? She could just weave vibranium in her colon. But, like, seriously, there's plenty of times where he, like, webs up Godzilla, and he's like, oh, fuck, I can't move my arms, and then he falls down, and he's,
into
like,
the water.
struggling.
Which is how you get rid of Godzilla if you don't want to kill him. You just dunk him into the ocean.
And, like, which is funny, because he can breathe.
I guess he's just like, oh, it's not worth the time. I don't know why.
Is Godzilla like a bird, where if you throw him in the ocean, he just falls asleep?
I mean, technically Godzilla is a dinosaur in some continuities, and dinosaurs are birds.
No, I'm saying is, like, you know how, like, if you put a bird in its cage and you just throw a blanket over it, the bird thinks it's bedtime?
Yeah.
So if you just throw Godzilla in the ocean, he's like, it's bedtime, I'm going to sleep.
Also, I just had this funny thought, off topic, but I don't know why, but I always think of Showa-era Godzilla with Grunkle Stan's voice from Gravity Falls.
Hey, let me tell you something, I'm Godzilla!
Can we have Alex Hirsch dub over kaiju movies? I've been watching a bunch of Gravity Falls lately, so that was on my mind.
That would definitely work with the whole, oh, Godzilla, what foul language.
Yeah.
I love that canonically Godzilla has a potty mouth now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
by that, for the Showa era Godzilla, apparently he has some choice words.
Now that just reminds me of a scene from Gravity Falls where like Grunkle Stan dropped the stuff on his head. It was
it's like, oh wait, the kids aren't around. I can say real swear words. Oh fuck.
But yeah,
Gravity Falls, great show. Check it out.
Funny, the recent episode I watched, because it's been on my mind, there was a reference to Mothra, and when Grunkle Stan and Stanford were kids, Stanford had an original Mothra poster in the back, so
that's cute.
So it seems Hirsch is a big fan of kaiju. I mean, he did one short that's a devotion to Ray Harryhausen's stop motion, so he's got to be a fan of at least some monster movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Ghidorah, the final brawl, which is like...
because it's still in the translation scene,
yeah.
and I just fucking love this. Well, actually, no, it's not the translation scene, but it's very soon after.
Yeah.
There's a bit where, like, I guess, like, Rodan... It's implied that Rodan and Godzilla are just like, fuck it, we're not paying attention, fuck you, Mothra, we don't care.
Let's continue fighting.
Like, yeah, we're, like, me and Rodan are gonna get back to our brawl, and... Mothra's like, no, fuck you, man. This is important. Pay attention. She webs up Godzilla. And
yes, this scene.
And then Rodan
starts chuckling.
Like, chuckling at him.
Especially that silly ass looking bird puppet.
Like his head's bobbing all over the place. He's clapping his wings together.
Yeah.
he's clapping, he's laughing, he's chuckling, and then one of my favorite images, not just in this film, but one of my favorite things in Godzilla ever. Then, I guess to, like, be like, fuck you, man, you get yours too, Mothra webs up Rodan. So Mothra webs up Rodan. And Godzilla doubles over. He's slapping his knees. He is bobbing up and down. He's laughing his ass off. And it's this ridiculous, distorted Godzilla roar effect. And he's just laughing his ass off. He's going full bald bull from Punch-Out, like laughing in Rodan's face. Just...
No, it's kind of weird that when Rodan got sprayed, he was like eating it. And it's like, I don't like how wet it looked.
Oh, it
looked kind of gross.
It looked like Mothra was like spraying like milk in Rodan's face.
Okay, I'm glad you went with milk and not something sexual.
Like, you know what? If it were Mothra Leo, maybe I would have went there, but it's female, so you know what? It's milk.
Alright, sure. Let's go there. So, Mothra fights...
Lactation.
Thank you for that, Cole. Thank you.
I hope that made someone very uncomfortable.
I think you made several people uncomfortable.
Oh, you know what? It's part of my charm.
Yeah. So... Mothra and Ghidorah fight. She gets her ass destroyed, but either it's through sympathy or impressed by her bravery, or maybe Godzilla is still, like, has a grudge against her and wants payback.
After Godzilla versus Mothra.
He's like, they basically fight Ghidorah in a really cool scene. And one thing I forgot to mention, how relentless the fucking assassin is throughout this entire movie.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. There's kaijus fighting. Like, you could put a gun to this guy's head and he'll still, like, fight you. Like, he doesn't give two shits. He is dedicated. This guy's, like, fucking, like, a goddamn space marine from Warhammer 40k. He is down for this. He is willing to die to get his mission done.
I mean, the guy who's hired him did say either kill her or you're gonna fucking die. So he has plenty of motivation to kill her.
Fucking God. This guy takes no fucking grievance with anything. He is fucking
relentless,
balls to the wall.
Like, there's a scene where, like, I guess they try to cure the princess of her alien possession by giving her a fucking, like, electric shock therapy, which was, we forget that this was the 60s, which was a long time ago, and yet not really.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I will say they go from, like, okay, I can't read Japanese, and it's a Japanese, it's covered in kanji, and I can't read it.
Yeah.
But, like, they have the electric machine. They have the electric shock therapy machine. It's on like a dial for how much wattage or voltage or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have it on, like, I don't know, like, let's say there's like 10 different settings. It's like,
by the way, why would you have any setting that's like up there? Like, you're doing electric shock therapy. You do realize the human can survive so much electricity before fucking dying. So why does it even have settings like that?
I don't know, but like I just wanted to comment on how fast it escalates.
Oh yeah,
because it goes like there's like 10 settings, and they start on like setting 1, then they bump it to setting 2 when she's not talking. And then they just go straight up ass to 10, like, immediately.
Yeah, it's, like, super jarring, and we're like, holy... And it's like, I don't know who I'm mad at, the assassin or the fact that whoever made that machine had that setting. Because, like, what, like, do you...
It gets even worse because, like, whatever setting you're on, it the lights... There's
change colors.
Change colors, so it's, like, the first setting is, like, white, and then it goes to, like, different iterations of, like, yellow. But when it gets to the 10th setting, it turns bright red.
Yeah. And it's like, why do you have a death setting?
It's just like you're making an electric shock therapy machine, which is meant for, like, helping people with mental problems, not making a goddamn execution electric chair.
Maybe they were, like, so cheap that they borrowed
an electric chair from the local prison.
Yeah. So, eventually, assassin guy gets killed in the middle.
Because, you know, you can just borrow those things like a fucking cup of sugar.
I don't know. I don't know Japan during that time. But anyway, so, during this time, the princess is, like, doing this weird, like the aliens are, like, praying Ghidorah away. Like, as the battle... But, yeah.
I completely... oh, my God. I was so concerned with other shit. I forgot the pray the Ghidorah away. That's fucking genius.
Yeah, like...
You know what? This gigantic three-headed golden dragon of death. Yeah, he's completely butt-fucking the planet right now.
Yeah, he
just, oh dear sweet lord, can you please get this fucker away from us?
And it's like, The aliens are doing it. Like,
it's not like one person. It's like mass
No.
prayer.
no, it was just the princess.
Really?
Yeah, she was.
Am I insane?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I think the viewers already realized that. I guess you just have to. I mean, what helps is you admitted it.
Oh, I love that. Whether it be intentionally or not, when it comes to you and me doing this, I've become the fool to your straight man.
I mean, you gotta have that for any podcast.
I mean, it's one of the most common comedic setups in history.
But yeah, so she tries to pray Ghidorah away. The assassin tries to shoot her and misses twice, even though he has a fucking sniper rifle.
I mean, hey man, when's the last time you played a first-person shooter?
I don't know. I mean,
When's the last time you held a gun?
never,
Same.
because
Guns are for pussies.
use swords. Don't die on me.
I am. Oh my throat hurts from laughing so much.
All right, so so eventually Rodan, just gonna, I guess the rest of this review, just talk about some of our favorite scenes. I mean, there's one of my favorite scenes where like Rodan picks up Mothra on his back and he's like flying. And
they do like a fucking combo move. Like they're like it's like. They're doing like team up attacks.
You got like Godzilla throwing the fucking Ghidorah's, like, it's obviously the suit actor wasn't in the suit when he tossed it, but it's like so fucking, it's like this is legitimately like a 3 versus 1 wrestling match.
Yeah, this is the King of the Ring.
And this is like fucking fantastic. Also, one other person we forgot to mention, Hat Man. Remember the one guy, like when Rodan was awakened, a guy lost his hat and we got that.
Oh my my favorite character. How could I forget him? This fucking like journalist, like this photographer guy.
No, not even that. They were just tourists.
Well, okay, some fucking guy with a camera then is taking pictures of the Ghidorah meteor. And
no, it was the volcano that Rodan was in.
Okay, I am just all over the place.
You are.
Oh my god. So like, so they're like, he's like taking photos of the volcano going apeshit because Rodan, and he's wearing his fucking fedora and it blows off in the wind. And he's like, oh, my hat! And, like, fucking, like, they make, like, an entire scene about trying to get this hat back.
We got, like, Chester A. Bum trying to get the hat for, I guess, like, they just said $200, which I'm guessing with the American dub, it was, like, $200, but in Japan, that's, like, $2, 200 yen.
Like, yeah, I hope, does he say 200 yen in the Japanese
No,
version?
just 200. Just 200 in the American.
Like, 200 yen is nothing. Like, dude, like, in America, we have, like, we have, like, stuff like Dollar Tree, or we have, like, the Family Dollar. In Japan, they have, like, 500 yen stores, which is essentially, like five and below.
Yeah.
Like, 500 yen is nothing. It's, like, $5.
Yeah. So he goes in, and
like, 200 yen for that hat?
Which I'm guessing in the dub is supposed to be $200.
Yeah, I guess, like, $200. But even then, $200 for a fedora?
Again, 1965.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse. For, like, adjusting for inflation, $200 in 1965? That'll get you a fucking suit.
Yeah. So he goes in the volcano, which, by the way, balls on that man did not die from the fucking, like, chemical fumes.
Oh, yeah, or just the heat.
The heat, yeah, and then Rodan awakens and he runs his ass off. Oof. But going back to so eventually Godzilla...
I'm glad you remembered Hat Man.
Yeah.
Because I am...
Hat Man, best character, 10 out of 10.
So, he's gotta get his fedora. He needs to say hi to all the miladies.
So eventually, the Mothra webs up Ghidorah and Godzilla beats the shit out of him with rocks. And
oh
Rodan,
my god, there's such a great scene with the rocks. Like Godzilla throws a lot of rocks in this film,
which is a weird trend in the Showa era. He likes to.
Can we talk about Godzilla and Rodan's volleyball match?
Volleyball, like I think that happened after the translation. They just started chucking rocks at each other.
They're just bouncing it back and forth.
And then Mothra's just looking back and forth. It's like
they're genuinely just having a match.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, apparently Godzilla's really into volleyball, which would be continued in Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
I feel like this is less like they're trying to kill each other. It's like two drunk assholes, and they're like...
they're either best friends or they fucking hate each other. They are two drunks.
I mean, they eventually become best friends, but Anger is Godzilla's true best friend.
Original OTP.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up. So eventually Ghidorah flies away. Mothra and
the thing with the rock. There's one where Godzilla just picks up a rock and like a fucking slasher. He just bashes Ghidorah in the head with it.
Yeah, like damn.
Just like fuck you.
So eventually Ghidorah flies away for future sequels. Mothra swims away for future sequels, and Godzilla and Rodan just stay on the mainland. So like, do they just like, all right, humans, you're
they
cool.
pick up their volleyball match.
Yeah, they decide to finish it as friends. And it's funny, like we make fun of the whole friends thing, but Yashiro Honda, it's funny. He's a little backstory on Yashiro Honda. He's a pacifist.
Really?
He was a World War II prisoner of war.
So he's very anti-violence.
He's anti-violence,
but
and
he made Godzilla beat a motherfucker.
Well, the whole point of it was basically if we could unite against a common enemy, we don't need to be enemies.
That makes sense, because throughout most of the film, when Ghidorah first shows up and Godzilla and Rodan are just fighting, like, the Shobijin are talking because the humans are just like, okay, so there's another kaiju here. Are we just fucked?
Basically.
Are we fucked? Are we gonna die? And then the Shobijin are just like, I mean, if we can get Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra to all tag team on Ghidorah, we might have a chance.
So basically, it's like, the idea is if
unify against a common threat. Very Watchmen, in a way.
Watchmen, or basically, like, taking allegories, basically, taking the superpowers of the world, because this is during the Cold War at the time.
Oof. Wait, was it?
Yeah, 65. Remember, the Cold War was after World War II and doesn't end until the late 80s.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, so it's basically if we stop, trying to kill each other and unite, we could do good for mankind.
Jesus Christ. Not only was that relevant. I think that's just a relevant thing all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Can humans stop being dicks to each other?
Please?
Can we all just be cool?
Yeah. So
come on, we're all humans.
Yeah. So let's wrap.
None of us are even better than anyone else. We all got our shit. Can we just be friends?
Yeah.
And play some volleyball together?
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this review up. So what would you give your rating?
I gotta give this 5 boulder volleyballs out of 5.
Yeah. I'll give this 5 Hatman out of 5. This is easily
5 lost fedoras out of 5.
This is easily one of the best of the Showa era. I will highly recommend this if you're a newbie to Godzilla and you really want to watch something from the old era. It's classic. There's a reason why it's probably being remade for King of the Monsters. Honestly,
the same kaijus are showing up, plus a couple extra.
Even though this is a patron voted episode, I would have done this anyways to
it really is perfect that this got voted, because King of the Monsters comes out at the time of recording. It only comes out next month.
Yeah.
It comes out next month, and this is basically an old school version of what King of the Monsters is going to be.
Yeah. So
it's perfect that this won the Patreon vote. So fuck yeah! I'm super glad we did this.
All right, so this is Chris.
I am again an alien race, but I am assuming the likeness of Cole, so I can make this important announcement: stop being dicks to each other.
And this is GargantuaCast signing out. Hey, thank you for listening to this new episode of GargantuaCast. Please subscribe and rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening to your podcast. We're updated bi-weekly on Mondays. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Follow GargantuaCast on Twitter for news and updates, discussions on the latest episodes, or just chat with us, because I like to chat. And we all know Kaiju fans like to talk. Please visit the GargantuaCast Patreon page. GargantuaCast is an independent project, and as such, all equipment and research materials come out of pocket. Any support you give is appreciated and get rewarded along the way, such as merch, voting on the next episode topic, and see you guys on the next episode.